Welcome to Season 4 of John McGivern's Main Streets.
I hope there are some open cup holders in our crew van.
The Main Streets podcast takes you behind the scenes of this popular PBS Wisconsin program. Now, get the inside scoop on this week's episode from hosts John McGivern and Emmy Fink and the Main Streets producer and director Lois Maurer.
Welcome back, everybody. It's John McGivern's Main Streets. We are in Season 4. Episode 1 is Long Grove, Illinois. We just came back from Illinois. In Long Grove, I'm here with our producer, our executive producer, Lois. How are you, Lois?
I am well, John. Good.
We're back.
Yes, Season
Very
4.
nice.
I'm loving it.
My co-host, our co-host, Emmy is here. Hi, Emmy.
Hello. Gosh, this feels good to be back all together.
Here we are, Season 4.
Wow.
Yeah. And the producer of this episode is Evan. Hey, Evan.
Hey, thanks for having me, John.
Oh, sure. Long Grove, Illinois. Did you know it?
I had never heard of it. I think it was suggested by Rich, who founded Plum Media, our production company.
Yes.
He said that would be a great place to do. And I looked it up, and it was just kind of a slam dunk. It's just like a really easy place to travel to, close to Chicago, close to Milwaukee, and there's a lot of it's like a tourist destination. So those are always easy.
And so if it's a tourist destination, what do you find a lot in a tourist destination?
Shops.
Shops. We just came back from there, and it's like we did a lot of shopping, didn't we?
Especially, Long Grove has got a reputation and had a bigger one in the past, right, Evan?
Yeah.
As we were doing the research for it, you were telling me how it used to be really.
It was huge. Like people would like make a day out of going down to Long Grove and doing all their Christmas shopping or going with their friends. But then the recession hit the community really hard, and a lot of those stores had to close. But since then, they've started kind of rebounding, and now there's a whole new.
Yeah.
And some of the places we feature in the episode survived that recession and have been around a really long time, but a lot of them are brand new or just a few years old.
And wasn't it kind of like the antiquing side of things
Yeah.
that people really kind of got into and what put Long Grove on the map?
Yeah, it popularized antiquing kind of in the Chicagoland area because there were a lot of farmers that were of German and English heritage. And a lot of them went to go fight in World War II, and then when they came back, they're like, I don't want to farm anymore. So they were selling their farm tools and equipment to wealthy people in Chicago area who thought it was cool to have that stuff in their house, and that kind of is still around today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, in fact, there was the Village Inn, I believe it's called, the Village Tavern,
Yeah.
which used to be not only a tavern but an antique store. So they had, in fact, you could still buy. You can go in there and be like, I really like that light fixture. Can I buy it? And they may sell it to you. But it used to be much more an antique sort of shop than it is now.
John, do you remember the bar in
Yeah,
there?
John offered to buy the bar, but it was like $997,000, I think.
I was like, no, I just want the lamp. But what a great tavern and restaurant, because we ate there for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And played some pool in the basement, which was new there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they
What?
Yes. They put a pool hall in the basement of the Village Tavern. So they have, 4 or 5 pool tables?
I don't remember how many, but I just remember that the owners met at a pool hall, right? The husband and wife had met at a pool hall, and now the daughter, also her husband plays pool. And so I think, and then he cooks and she runs the place, I think. Anyways, they're a fabulous family, and they just had opened that pool hall when we got there.
It was brand new. Like we went for the site survey a couple months before, and they were still working on it. And then by the time you were shooting, it was pretty much done.
The only way you had a chance to play pool was because everything in Long Grove was so close to each other. Do you remember how many times we were just like, we're filming here? Where's our next place? Oh, it's 2 blocks.
Yes.
And we
right across
barely
the
had
street.
to get into the car.
That
was ideal for us.
We
Instead
love
of trying to
communities
find
like
a parking
that.
ramp and trying to find a place. It was just like
No.
zip, zip. That is like a dream. So Evan, thank you.
Good choice, Evan.
I remember when I was finding content, I literally pulled up Google Maps and scrubbed the entire like border of the town because it's not that big. And I was like, is there anything not in this main area that we need to cover? And I'm sure there's tons of great stuff out there, but like all of the big hits for tourism and the there's not a ton of industry, so like all the
Right.
stuff you'd want to see is kind of right in that city center.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's right across the street from the Sock Monkey Museum. Where is it? It's close to the Sock Monkey Museum, which just to say it is fun.
The Sock Monkey Museum is in it.
Yeah.
And I just will never forget the look on your face when I said, hey, you're going to do a stand-up about the Sock Monkey Museum.
And you know why I had that look on my face? Because we were in Rockford not a few years ago.
Yes.
And we were talking
birthplace
about
of the Sock
birthplace of the
Monkey.
Sock Monkey.
Rockford's going to be mad when they see that Long Grove
Right.
because Long Grove has the most sock monkeys in any one place. Isn't that their claim to fame?
Yeah, and it's much more compact.
Which
Just saying.
claim to fame?
Well,
That's what they're claiming for fame.
you-
Come on.
All right, here's a secret. John never even went in it. You didn't go in that museum.
I was on the porch.
Emmy did all the hard work of going in and kissing the monkeys and holding them and doing all the monkey
Kissing
things.
the monkeys. Yes, this is all coming back to me now.
Right.
And it was rooms and rooms and rooms of monkeys. In fact, do you remember the lady came and found us on the corner when we were filming something for Facebook? She came running out with a monkey.
A sock monkey, not a real monkey.
Right. And Lois was like, actually, we're headed there next. And I think that was Christmas morning for her.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Sorry, I missed it.
Uh-huh.
they scare you a little, don't they?
No, it's all fine. But once you see a sock monkey, you've seen a sock monkey,
Right.
right?
They were really easy to work with, though. They were great. Like,
The monkeys or the people?
both.
Okay. Okay.
Those monkeys will do anything you ask them to, Emmy. It's kind of great.
How did you come up with high tea with Jerry for the John and Emmy segment? Because we had so much fun. We giggled.
I just remember hearing about it, and it was like, yeah, it's a woman who moved here from Ireland who teaches, formal tea time and shows you all the mannerisms and what you eat and what you drink. And I was like, I don't think we've done that before, and that really sounds like it would be fun. Like, you don't even have to meet the person, and you just know it's going to be a really good time.
And she was serious. She was serious.
Yes.
Remember, we kind of got scolded.
We did. Because we were having so much fun.
Yeah.
But it was not, this was like the substitute teacher that you think you're going to just be able to slack off with. And then it's like, oh, no, she means business. But when she would go back into the kitchen, then we would like use the wrong spoon on purpose for the lemon compote.
That was good stuff, too.
Oh, the food was amazing.
Yeah.
And the tea, but, I was like, well, it's tea.
Right.
But not like we make it here, right?
No.
With the leaves and the pouring in a certain way and holding the cup in a certain way.
And this is just a little etiquette of tea time. And here is how we hold our teacup. We must never put our finger through the loop of the teacup.
Okay.
What?
Pinky in, pinky out. Now we sip the tea.
I'm very nervous. I want to put my finger through that hole. I want to slurp and I want to make some noise.
Really, it's especially since Downton Abbey was on, which is years ago.
Right.
It's a really fun group activity that a lot of, let's face it, it's mostly women, I imagine, that go do it.
Right.
And she's got quite the business there. I thought it was really, really smart, and she's got good
It's mostly
staff.
women, but my friends and I have gone down
Oh, okay.
7, 8 times. It's kind of our bachelor party spot now.
Oh, my word.
You like the sandwiches, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cucumber
That
and
little
mint.
cucumber sandwiches. Yeah.
You like the cutout of the queen, let's face it.
Yeah. That was fun, though.
It was
We
very
had
fun.
a good time, and what a beautiful shop. She had it's kind of a perfect spot to have tea and tiny little sandwiches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite
Completely.
interview when you were there?
Well, it was a combination of interview and content, which was the confectionery. So a great a candy store.
Okay.
And that has a history in this place and some of the best candy I've ever had.
Like what kind of candy? It's so like, give me.
What did I make? Do you remember what I made?
Yes, apple cider donuts. Do you remember?
Oh,
And the
right.
cinnamon and the sugar, and they do them right there, and they have that machine that plops them in one at a time and turns them. Oh, that was fun.
Right. Delicious. And that wasn't candy. That was a donut.
Right. I was going to say, where's the candy?
The candy was on the other side of the room, but we got a taste of anything we wanted. Whatever you want, have a taste. I'm like, okay, lady.
You know, chocolates. We're talking about homemade chocolate. But what you guys didn't see was for the B-roll, we went to the factory that makes the candy, right?
Yeah, so that's why you made donuts, is because they have, in actual Long Grove proper, they have a storefront that sells the candy, and then they have a little bakery there, and that's where they make their baked stuff that they sell.
Yeah.
And they have a huge mail order is what they have. Like they have a lot of people who order it from all over the world.
Yep.
So it's not just the little candy store in Long Grove. And she was great. She sure knew her stuff. She's PR and
brand management. Remember, she controls the brand, and Mary was like unbelievably prepared and friendly, and just really made a good segment. John Kopecki took us to a house. Wasn't it a home that's now the Historical Society, maybe?
So it was historical, but only personally.
Sure.
Which was fine. It was good.
But he is the one who told us the story about the Gangster flag, which you did as a stand-up, Emmy. So you remember that stand-up?
Yes, and Evan, you're going to have to help me with it. But
So the flagpole was about the gangster from Chicago, Terrible Terry Drugan.
yes.
Which is the worst.
Tell the story, Evan.
It's the worst gangster name I've ever heard. He would go up to, Wisconsin or the city of Chicago or somewhere, be out of town, and then he had this flagpole he bought that was really tall. And if the flag was up when he came back, it meant everything's okay, come back to town. If the flag was down, that meant there's cops in town, be careful, either don't come or be on
Because they are looking for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's like a focal point in the middle of the city. So, there's good energy now.
Smart, right?
They
didn't text each other. What were they going to do?
Right. No, nobody would know.
That's really fun.
Emmy, did you like the dressing up? Because you did some ballroom dancing.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
Fred
Lois.
Astaire, Move Over. Ginger Rogers is in town.
If I only knew who Ginger Rogers was. Married to Mr.?
No. Somebody different, but that's fine. Ginger Rogers was Fred Astaire's dancing partner in the movies and the...
That's truly what I felt like. I had no idea Lois would send me into the dressing room, and she'd have to come with me and help me into these 3 different gowns that weighed,
Oh my gosh, they were heavy.
30 pounds?
They have all these crystals all
But they
over
were all Velcro, right? So any size of anybody could put them on.
Yeah, they were like, traveling pants, traveling dress.
Yes.
For sure. That was really fun. That gentleman was so kind.
Jesse.
He was on Dancing with the Stars,
He was.
Right. He was so handsome. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. And he smelt good.
That's why
Right.
I got in there and I was just like, you can just hold me in this frame all day. This is great, Jesse.
Well, and
He
his
was
brother...
very patient with you, too.
Oh, was he?
very
He
patient.
was.
Yeah. So the way we handled that one is I knew that you weren't going to dance with Emmy. I knew you guys weren't, that wasn't going to be a thing.
I won't take offense to that also.
Don't take
it would
offense.
have been
We
not
had
right.
a professional there so that you could dance with a professional, Emmy, but I knew that John, number 1, wasn't going to dance with Jesse. And number 2, I just didn't think you'd be interested in dancing.
I wouldn't have been.
Right. So
Yeah.
you did the interview with Jesse
Which
at
was
a
great.
separate time. We talked about the business. We talked about
Yeah.
his influence in town and, bringing that, what is Fred Astaire doing in Long Grove, Illinois, and his
Right.
business. And it was really, so you really set the whole thing up. But then Emmy did the dancing because you can't go into a Fred Astaire dance studio and not see somebody dancing.
Especially someone as lovely as Emmy.
Right.
Come on.
You might think differently when you see this footage.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
I'm an athlete. Athletes don't typically dance. It was like a whole nother thing, like moving. And then he's like, don't forget the hips and don't forget the frame. And I'm like, he lost me at hips.
And what was really funny to me was, you're right. Emmy is an athlete and she works out all the time.
Yeah.
We came out of there and she was sore. She's like, my
Oh,
hips
yeah.
are killing me.
Oh, yeah. And the buttocks muscles, all of it was like, it got worked in a way. Now when you see those dancers from Dancing with the Stars, you realize like that is an amazing workout.
Yeah.
No, that was very fun.
It was very fun. But they have these gowns that are used for competition. And when we walked in there, there's a whole rack full of all these different gowns. And of course, my eyes lit up. And thank God, because Emmy was like, I'll do it. I'll put those on. Not a problem. That was great.
If they fit.
And they all did. That was wild.
That was wild. That was very fun.
Shops that we went into?
A lot. Didn't we go into a lot of shops this
We
time?
did. Well, at least 3.
You did like the 3-in-1.
Yeah, we did 3 kind of shops to kind of cover the shopping in Long Grove, but we wanted it to be all different, remember?
Yeah.
So we went to one that was the baby store. Did you get to go in the baby store?
No.
Oh, they have they have other things too. On the first floor, they have gifts. It's a lot of gifts that you would give to, weddings or couples or whatever. But on the top floor, they have a baby store. And so you would go there for any gift for any toddler down to newborn.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, things that you just don't see in Target or,
Yeah.
or in,
And we
Kohl's.
almost, we may not have been able to talk to the woman because she was waiting for her daughter to have a baby, if you
right.
remember.
I do.
She
She was like-
said, I may
She was
have to run
distracted.
out.
Yeah, she was
wow.
kind of like looking at it. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, her daughter's going to call
It's
her
like,
any
and
minute.
you own a baby store and you're waiting for your daughter. Does she have a lot of babies? How does it work? So she was becoming a grandma is what was going on.
Yeah.
But a beautiful store with some high-end baby stuff.
Wow.
Not only the baby stuff on the top floor, but on that first floor, tons and tons of collectibles. And when we went for the site survey of it, I remember your mom being so happy with you.
Yeah. They had these little Nora Fleming, the collectibles where you can swap out the decoration on a plate or a tray or whatever for the seasons and different occasions. And they had like all the ones you can imagine. So
Did you pick one up for your mom?
yes, because Mother's Day was coming up.
Oh,
and I
good.
was like, this would be really easy.
Perfect.
So it wasn't a surprise. I just texted her and said, hey,
Which
what
one do you need?
don't you have?
Right, right.
And so I got her a little party hat for birthdays.
Nice. Can
And
be
that's
used
a
many
place called
times.
Within Reach that we were at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the owner told us how incredibly popular that is. Like women are coming in, mostly women are coming in to gift those all the time. And you had heard of it, Emmy.
I have a couple of them. I got them
Do
as
you?
wedding gifts.
Okay.
So I have 3 or 4 different ones I can swap out. Yeah,
You should trade with my mom.
I should. Give me her number, Evan.
Okay.
We will do that. One of the stand-ups I was really excited to do was you were so excited about the bridge.
Yeah.
Because you had heard about it that this historic bridge is short, is not very tall, and gets run into often. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like imagine if it would happen when we were there. And I'm not kidding. We got there. And there is a truck that could not clear the height limit and had crashed into it. And
The
we're like,
police were still there.
Everything.
Sheriff was,
and we are not the type of crew that's like going to scenes like this. We're like, roll the camera. This is great before they leave. This was just like perfection talking
Yes.
about that story.
With apologies to the people of Long Grove, but I just find it hilarious that their whole community is represented by this bridge. And it's in their iconography for the town and everybody's really proud of it. And people just can't stop hitting it with their cars.
And you know why it is, right? They told us this. Because GPS takes you down that road.
Yeah.
It takes you down that road no matter if you're a delivery truck or a semi or a car. And the bridge is only 8 feet tall or something.
Yeah.
And it's clearly marked. This bridge is only this tall, but they're not looking.
No.
But if you look up the bridge, there are dozens of articles that are just like, yep, somebody hit the bridge again. It's going to be out of commission for a week.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Lois, do you remember the moving truck that hit it? I mean, it wasn't even close to making it under there. It was like, if you even thought you had a chance, buddy. Now, I never read where you're going or what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I know you don't usually read mine, except I'm reading right now that there was movies filmed in Long Grove. And all I kept thinking when I was there is this looks like a movie scene. This little town.
They are constantly filming Christmas movies in Long Grove, and Mario Lopez was there when we were there. We didn't see him, though, but we
Right.
saw little printed signs that said, welcome Mario Lopez,
Oh,
which I have in my office here, but he hasn't ever seen them.
And when we went for the site survey, the whole town was still decked out like Christmas. And it was,
Yeah, and Lois just looked at me like,
what is happening here?
yeah, like, we can't do this place if they're going to pretend it's Christmas all year. And then we found out, no, they're filming a movie with Mario Lopez.
Right?
Wow.
And you know, when we went back to shoot last week, Evan, it was still the tree in the main square there, still
there.
still Christmas on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they forgot it or if that's their homage to Christmas all around, but
It's a beautiful little town, Long Grove. I would go back by myself.
I know because you know where you would go is Epilogue.
I would Epilogue. Epilogue was great.
Oh, what a great store.
Yeah. And there was something that she sells that one of our crew members already has. Do you remember?
A bat.
A bat.
A bat. She sells metal bats. She has artists in her store. So it's a store that sells, I wouldn't even call it collectibles. I'd call it art. And the artisans that she reps there, she knows every one of them by name. And she travels and she sees how they make things. And there's some just really beautiful, beautiful pieces in there. But really, there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And her signature is these metal bats that you hang from anywhere you want. But they've become kind of a collectible.
These
in
aren't
her store.
baseball bats. These are flying bats.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, just
thank you for clarifying, because
yeah.
I'm picturing like this full-size metal baseball bat being
Oh,
hung
no,
up.
I'm
No,
sorry.
these are bats.
Bats,
sure.
like, you know,
Yeah.
creepy
BAT bat.
BH. That's how you spell the other bat, too.
It's still accurate.
Touche. Yeah, Evan's episodes take a little longer because sometimes.
They do. And it's a great store with a lot of varied stuff.
And you also got to paint there at another store. Remember Homestead, Vintage Charm Homestead, remember? And you can take classes there. And so the whole chalkboard paint thing is restoration. She restored old pieces.
Right. And we did something project-wise that wasn't really hard. And I didn't need a lot of talent in the art world to do it. It was a stamp.
It was a stamp, but you did it. And
I
it turned
did.
out adorable.
Long Grove was charming in
Wasn't it
every
charming?
way. It was
Yeah.
charming.
And again,
Drivable. We drove back and forth from Milwaukee instead of staying over.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And we have a fan shout out that we need to talk about. Brad Jones, who's from Madison. Thank you for being our fan shout out for episode 1 of season 4.
Thank you, Brad.
We love all of our Facebook commenters, and they like what we do. We spend a lot of time out in the field doing that. So thank you for caring and following the show in a behind the scenes way.
We should talk about our sponsors, shouldn't we, Lo?
I guess so. Otherwise, we would not be on the air, would we?
Yeah.
They're kind enough to underwrite the show, and that's how we afford to do this show. We're not a pay-for-play model, so we have people that believe in our mission enough, and that hopefully will get something out of it themselves, like Greendale, Wisconsin, who has been with us since season 1. All I can say is
Yes.
Roy Ryman is the best,
Yes.
and he has always been a fan of Main Streets and of small town USA. And so Greendale was our first community sponsor, I will call that.
Well, we always get the question, how do we get on the show? You know, we hear that everywhere we go.
Right.
Well, a great way to be on the show but not be the featured community is to come on as a Wisconsin featured community sponsor. And your message is seen twice in every show, at the beginning and at the end. And it's just a great way to have a shorter curated message that, you know, the very loyal audience of Main Streets can see.
And you see that message no matter where you see the show. So it's always connected with the show.
Right.
So if you watch
Right.
it on YouTube, if you see it on PBS, wherever you see it, that's going to always be the message. So Stevens Point came on, and Wisconsin Dells came on.
Right.
And it's that message that's always connected with the show.
You look at some of the YouTube links and how many views they have from season 1 and season 2. Like John said, it lives with the show. That message is going to be there, and people are going to continue to see it, whether it's a current season or not.
Yeah.
Now, the caveat is, of course, because this is a PBS distributed product, Main Streets is, we can't have an underwriter that is featured that year. So that makes it a little weird too, right? You're kind of like Sun Prairie, thank you, and Beloit, Wisconsin is considering being a sponsor of the show, and you can't cover that show. So we make our list out ahead of time where we're going to go, and we know. And so the communities that we're covering cannot be an underwriter for us.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a two-pronged thing, right? We have to decide where we're going before we would approach anybody about underwriting.
Right.
Exactly.
And there are communities that would prefer to underwrite than rather have one episode. They'd prefer to have their message on many. So it's a decision that communities make, and it's a good way to reach our audience who really like to travel.
Right. The fine folks of Beloit, Wisconsin, right down by the border, they came on as a community sponsor. Beloit, I don't know if you've been there recently, have they just built up a beautiful downtown area, beautiful boutique hotels and restaurants and coffee shops, and and
the river goes right through it.
It has really turned into a must-visit destination.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Those are our sponsors. And people can get involved sponsoring our show if, in fact, you believe in the mission. And in fact, you know that there's an audience that you're trying to reach. This is a great way to reach them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's great to be back. Good talking to you guys. See you.
Bye.
Have a great summer.
Want to wear something that's going to support your favorite show? Shop at Main Street Store. Proceeds go to help us get next season into production. So come on, go shopping at mainstreets.tv.